Hello! Once again, welcome to Venice Beach, California, the veritable edge of Western civilization. It is a beautiful, epically beautiful day here, as it has been since I got back from Burning Man last Friday. Last Friday, Jesus. What is this, Tuesday? 9/9/2014. And the noise you hear in the background is Harry Perry. Thankfully not stopping. Thank you very much, brother. What's been going on? That's cool. The wind is blowing a little bit now. Probably die out here, but boy, this sure has been a lot of change. I was thinking about this morning in the shower. It's like this time of year there's so much change that happens that we just kind of take as given, you know. But it's almost like I would say the most change happens in September than at any other time of the year. Even like New Year's. You know, we say New Year's, you know, but I mean, people like start school, start jobs, move out of where they were, go traveling, stop traveling, whatever. People buckle down and get serious about their stuff, their life, their mission, their purposes, and all that kind of stuff. And it all happens at the end of the summer. You know, when I was a kid, I decided I loved summer so much I wasn't gonna. I wanted to live summer year-round. So, being from New England, that would have been a real challenging if I had stayed there. But here I am doing this. So, Burning Man was epic, of course, but it seemed like Burning Man was only, you know, it was only the beginning, because, or part of it anyway. You know, there was the big getting there, both getting the money together to get there, paying off all my bills before I could get the money to get there. Then the epic story of, I don't know if I told you this, what happened. Okay, so this is episode number 66, right? And I had just finished the show on my birthday, August 26th. And I was, you know, I was talking about how, you know, if the universe wants me at Burning Man, I'll be there and everything. There was a ticket waiting for me at Will Call. There was, you know, it was a low-income ticket, so it was $190. And I had, at that point, I think I had like $150 it saved towards the ticket. And let's see. So my birthday was on a Tuesday, August 26th. On the Friday before that, I paid off, finally caught up on my bills for the summer. And, you know, I knew at the beginning of that week that I was going to have an epic week to pay off all my bills and get the money to go to Burning Man. And so by that Friday, I paid off all the bills, and I was expecting, you know, because I, you know, made so much money that week to pay off the bills, I figured that I would, you know, maybe that would carry over, you know, and I was on a roll, right? So I figured I'd work Saturday and make the money, and then I'd take off, right? Well, Saturday came. I actually got out on the boardwalk early, and I mean, when I say early, I mean like 6:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. I was out to get a spot, to make sure that I got a spot, because 4 weekends this summer I didn't get a slot. And there's some, like I said, there've been some big changes on the boardwalk, or in the world, but definitely here on the boardwalk since I came back. And one of them was that they started enforcing a new version of the ordinance. that governs the boardwalk. And what that means is that, you know, this is another attempt to kind of get rid of all the commercial stuff, you know, people going downtown and buying stuff and bringing that onto the boardwalk. And it's a lifeguard on the way to save somebody's life, no doubt. Hopefully not. So apparently they started enforcing this new version of the ordinance in my absence, but it was enough to like make it so that now there's some friggin' space. In fact, I came out this past Saturday to work, and I think it was like 11 o'clock, and there were still spaces for me to work, and that was really, that was amazing. That was wonderful, actually. Kind of, you know, cleared out a lot of the people that really didn't have anything creative to offer. But they have the option. They can stop selling stuff that somebody else made, or they can start making their own stuff. And in the past times that they've started the ordinance, trying to enforce the ordinance, that's exactly what happened. People either got creative or they got gone. And it's been really wonderful to see some of those people, you know, years later, still doing the creative thing, you know. So, and if somebody's, you know, looking to support their family, this is, you know, this is the way to do it. It's still first come, first serve, you know, and it's still free. So, anyway, encouragement, encouragement, encouragement. So, what else? Where was I? Oh, yeah, okay, so I was recounting this whole. So, that Saturday, before my birthday, I worked on the boardwalk, got out here at 6:30 in the morning, and made $8. Worked till sunset. So pretty much sunrise to sunset out here, and made $8. Okay, so I'm like, okay, all right. You know, Burning Man doesn't start till Sunday afternoon, and you know, I don't have to be one of the first 10,000 people on the site. You know, that's okay. I'll work tomorrow. So Sunday comes, I was like, the heck with it. I'm not getting out there at 6:30 because that didn't really help. I can get out there at 8:30. Can't set up until 9, so I'll get out there at 8:30 and see about getting a spot. And sure enough, I got out there at 8:30. I got a spot, set up, blah, blah, blah. Spent the day. It was a beautiful day, just like this, you know. And I made $16. And I was like, oh, God. You know what? We're back to this again, you know. So Mondays are traditionally a good day for me, and there have been more often than not, I've made more money on a Monday than I did on Saturday and Sunday combined, and I was hoping this would be one of those things, right? So that Monday, August 26th, the day before my birthday, I set up on the boardwalk. And usually you don't have to, there's not a whole lot of competition for space on Mondays. So that wasn't an issue. I could sleep later, which is, you know, I like getting my 7 hours at least, if not 8. So I roll out there, get out there, and set up and do the show. And I think I made like $45. I'm like, holy shit, this is really happening, right? This is really not happening. But the good news was that I heard that, good news, whatever, it rained at Burning Man and they closed the playa. So I wasn't missing anything, and they were telling people, they were turning people away and telling them to, you know, go wait in Reno or whatever, you know. So it was, you know, good place to be. And so then at that point I knew I was going to be here for my birthday, and I said basically, you know, pretty good consolation prize, you know. Look at the seagulls. Hello, hello. So what ends up happening is I wake up here on my birthday and I go out, get a good swim on, and I hear that there's going to be this big swell actually the next day, and it's like 13 feet or something. But it was really gnarly getting in the water, I'll tell you. I couldn't even get out. Forget about trying to get out to the waves. It was just too much of a rip, you know, to body surf. But at least I got in. I mean, it carried me. I got into the water and it just started carrying me north. You know, it was fun. It was great. So I came and set up and painted and I did the show, right? Episode number 65. And in the show I talked about, well, if the universe wants me to be there, I'll be there and all this sort of stuff. But here it is. It's Tuesday evening. And I have a ticket waiting for me at Will Call at Burning Man, and I don't even have the gas money to leave town, never mind to get there, you know? Yeah, I don't want to get music into this because often they'll flag your video, and then that happened with Beyonce a couple of times. Beyonce's music blacked out the whole show because she had a few bars of her song in it. Love and light, love and light. So what ends up happening is I do the show, I close out, and I probably made about $40 that day, $40 or $50, which is really great, if I was going to remain here. And at that point, I'd like reconciled myself to the notion that, not to be attached to whether or not I made it to Burning Man or not, And so I start packing up, we go off the air, and I start packing up, and my friend John Chi sets up down the way, selling the phone accessories and whatnot. He comes up and gives me my birthday present. Gives me this wonderful piece of citrus that I really enjoyed on the road, John. Just so you know, it came in really handy at the right moment. Just like, yum, 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 yum. And he told me that he'd been watching the stream. He had taken the day off, and he was watching the stream. So it's always good to, get like instant feedback. Who's watching this stuff, and then he shows up, and it was wonderful, right? So, and I said to him the same thing. I reiterated the same thing that I had been saying, if the universe wants me there. I didn't say it like that. I said, if the universe wants me there, John, I'll be there. I probably didn't say it like that either, but you get the general idea. So what happens is John goes away after wishing me a happy birthday. And I continue to pack up. And it's dark. The sun is already set, right? And the lights are starting to come on. And this guy comes up while I'm packing with his date, and he says, what I've heard a gazillion times out here is, this stuff is amazing. I was like, well, and my response is, I was going for amazing, and I barely looked up, and then the next question, of course, is how much for these little ones? And he's like, I said, $20. I say what I usually say. You probably heard me say it a gazillion times. And he says, oh, really? Well, I'll take that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Can I look through the stack over here? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, go right ahead. And at the end of the day, literally, the brother ended up buying $460 worth of framed pieces. It took me about 25 minutes to sign them all. It was magnificent. I told him exactly, dude, you just made my birthday, my week, my month, my year, and then you were making it possible for me to head on to Burning Man right after I hung up, right after I packed up. But unfortunately, it was already too late to leave because I had to empty the bus and everything. So the storage place was closed. So which was fine. It was not unfortunate because it meant that I could get a good night's sleep before hitting the road. And as it turned out, that was very important. So I celebrated. I typed up the story. I put it online and on Facebook and everything, and that was really, really, really one of the best birthday presents I've ever had from the universe, I have to tell you. And I celebrated. Okay, so for years now, I've gone for my birthday. I've gone without birthday cake or birthday pie or anything like that because I've usually been like either driving to Burning Man or at Burning Man where there's no cake out there, whatever, or out in the wilderness or whatever, but nowhere near cake fixins or anything like that. And I always say to myself, when I get back to civilization, I'm gonna get me a slice of cake, and then the year goes on and I forget about the freaking cake, and I'm not a big cake person anyway. Try to stay away from the sugar and starch, but that night I went to the Whole Foods. I'm not plugging Whole Foods or anything like that, but they had this raw. I scoped this piece of cake out like a couple of days before, I have to say. They had this raw dark forest cake. That's all I'm saying. Raw dark forest cake. That's what I'm saying, right there. Righteous. And I dare you to eat it. It's so magnificent. So yeah, I'm still digesting that piece of cake a week and a half later. It was wonderful. And so the next day I unpacked the bus and then I went out here because I heard that swell was coming in. I wanted to see if I could get a dip in before leaving and check out the swell. And I went out here, and there was no way I was getting in that water. It was really gnarly. But right then, dolphins! Dolphins showed up, So, and there were dolphins, literally, there were 5 dolphins, a pod of 5 dolphins, surfing in the surf. So that, the wave builds up, you could actually like see straight into the wave, and you could see their whole bodies and everything like that, and then you could see them, as the wave started to break, you could see them dart into the wave. It was really amazing. Excellent. So, anyway, so I was a little late leaving Venice, which is also a really good thing because eventually, I get out on the highway, and now the bus has been having problems. I've had this bus as a loaner basically for a year and a half. My friend Marco Martinez, who built this bus, he basically took a Volkswagen, a 1980-ish Volkswagen Vanagon, and put a 6-cylinder Nissan Maxima Nissan engine in it from about 1990, and it's had a problem that has been undiagnosed. I haven't been able to figure out. It would just suddenly start bogging out when it got hot. So riding around Venice, it would be no problem. Because it wouldn't get hot enough. But if I got caught in traffic, as I did, driving over the 405 into the valley, by the time I got to the other side of the valley, after all the traffic and everything like that, the bus would start to bog out. And then I could turn it off, let it sit, and it would, start up after a while and run fine until it got hot again, And this pretty much drove me friggin' crazy, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse, and there's been the numerous other things that have gone wrong that have been kind of connected with this since I got the bus. Like last year when I was at the Rainbow Gathering, it caught fire a couple times. Luckily, I was actually behind there looking at the engine when it caught fire. But it was all related to what ultimately became the, I came to realize what the problem was. But so I basically ended up nursing the bus all the way up to Burning Man, and it took me 2 days. So I didn't get there until the wee hours of Friday morning. But at this point, I was like, I don't care. I'm just getting there, you know. And I had an epic journey. And there's something about, I have to say, I'm the sort of person that I really like just taking off. Hello, hello. I like just taking off, and especially after being here for a long period of time, just to drive down the road, and just let it all kind of get quiet in my head and start to see what I need to see, and kind of come back into myself. I love that, So I made it to Burning Man finally after, stopping a lot to stare at the engine. I don't have any illusions that my staring at it made it any better, but it sure made me feel better, because I needed to try to feel like I was doing something, So I'd get back there and I'd stare at the engine a while, and I'd move some wires around, and it would start running better, which I don't understand. I still don't understand why it started running better, or which wire I was moving that made a difference, and that made it even more confusing over time. But the bottom line was that I eventually made it to friggin' Burning Man, one way or the other, So I got there and drove in and went right to sleep. And unfortunately, I drove in and went right to sleep because, hey you, hey, what's your name? That's right.
Yeah, you've known me since I was really young.
I know, but I was trying to. There was another rainbow here today that was just passing through town, and he was asking me about who's around and whatnot, and I tried to describe you, and I was like, "There's no way." I wasn't even close with your name, so I was like, "I got to ask her name again because names are my weakness."
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. David.
I do remember that.
All right.
You're up there like with Felipe in my childhood. So
okay. All right.
Yeah. Mama Tilly. One of like the rare sober A-camp way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you heard about Fast Eddie, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My friends have been throwing a memorial for like 2 weeks.
Of course.
Long, like they've got
in typical A-camp fashion.
Listen, this is so like they rented out the whole 4th floor to Jack London in Oakland, and that's he loves that place.
Right.
Yeah, he loves that place, and we just been it's been a coffee and Vicodin party.
Oh God.
Yeah, isn't that funny though? Like, cause that was that thing, coffee and Vicodin. So they're all like, I got pictures on my Facebook of them all laid out, going, "Wish you were here."
Yeah, right.
They got cups of coffee, and they're all like, like, I'm glad I'm not there.
Vicodin is like speed, isn't it?
No, it makes me all jittery, but it's actually opiate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a painkiller.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And he was just, I mean, I've known him since I was 4. Because like my mom did the Dead tour and stuff too, like way into GDF and stuff.
Right.
So, Old Man Mountain pretty much raised me when my mom was in prison and stuff, and bored. So, and Old Man Mountain, he's mountain Grateful Dead Mountain. He hasn't done Rainbow since the 80s. Neither has my dad, actually, now that I think about it, but he's on his way out, too, and that man, like, raised me, like,
Right.
and, Wavy, like, I live up in the Bay, and he's completely not there. The Alzheimer's, and it's, like, I don't know his kid very well, but that little man used to be freaking awesome. He was the most kind, loving dude, and his son is a little asshole. Totally like, I'm Wavy Gravy's son, and like, running Wavy's property like a venue.
Crazy.
Both the one in Berkeley, the house, and let junkies in the basement. Like,
right.
Wavy would have to.
So is he Wavy's losing his mind?
Bad.
Alzheimer's?
Yeah. I mean, it's the only thing we can think of. I mean, Lord knows he's done enough to love the life
Yes.
of real losing. But I mean, I think if that didn't happen a long time ago, it wasn't gonna,
Right. Right.
But like I said, his son's just a little complicated asshole.
Right.
I told him about it, so I'm not allowed on the hog farm anymore.
Right.
But whatever, I mean, just like thousands and thousands of dollars off just my dad, just the hog farm, and my dad. So we're having, you want to play at Wavy Gravy's property, you got to pay all the freaking money. And then, like, I show up there and I'm like, well, look, dude, you can ask Wavy, I don't care how nuts he is, about a little pork chop, and he'll tell you to let me in the door quick, and I'm going to volunteer. I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't have any money, but I live 4 miles from here, like, you guys,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But it hit this right here. I don't think I broke.
Oh, you're good. You're good. There's nothing there. That's fine.
Have a good one, man.
Yep. Bless. It's not the end of the world. I know, but no, not usually. When that happens, people, they don't usually pay.
Really?
Yeah, but it's kind of a lose-lose for everybody, because what do they get?
Right.
Yeah.
You get a broken painting.
Exactly.
But, hey, art.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car broke down here.
Your car broke down here?
Yeah, well, it broke down 90 miles north of here. And my friend Bob, like, he used to be my sponsor when I was, like, being sober and stuff. But I still thought that shit, but I can't consider myself sober. Anyway, he, like, got a trailer and brought my car down. He needs a starter and wires and alkaline.
It needs a starter and
I
what?
never had this, a starter, with, like, Volvo. It's a Volvo 88.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like $60 for the part, and I can do the work myself. But
Crazy.
I'm just like, I've never had this car. I'm making $60 anywhere, I'm a radio kid. I can hustle, Like, I'm too paranoid. Because there ain't nobody looks like me anymore.
Right.
So I'm not getting away with that.
Right.
But usually, for the right time of year, God is pretty so excellent. But I got by like a couple of days.
Right.
And so I'm not going to, ask them once not, I'm not going to bother them. And I was going to go in the library and go on Craigslist today, but I was way too overstimulated by everything. I hate it.
Right.
I come here to see something and with my little brother, but I've been here like 5 years.
Right.
4 or 5 years.
Really?
I don't want to be here. I'm thinking about flying to sign things, help me,
Yeah, right.
I just want to go back to Oakland.
Well, that'd be easy enough to do. You get a ride on Craigslist.
My crap and my dogs, and I just rescued a pit bull. Me and my road dog just rescued for the puppy mill here. And she's kind of protective. She got kind of biting. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, no, not this guy. This is Marvin. I've had him forever.
Right.
But no, Marvel, she's a champagne boxer and pit bull.
Right.
She's really cool, though. She's going along. She loves it here. She never bites anybody here.
Right.
She loves LA. But you take her up to the city of San Francisco Or like up in woods up there, and she's absolutely weird.
That was Pocha. Don't know if you heard anything, and don't know if you can hear anything because this band just set up right over there, and they have amplified, and it's bouncing off the building, and oh yeah. Okay, so well, I'm gonna cut it short today, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. And thanks for listening. And remember, we love you.